Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he's thick, boy. That's a thick ass.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, and good dawn, y'all. This is your boy Cypherx wishing you a splendiferous day. I hope you guys are doing well and getting through this little pandemic we have going here. There are lots of gear sets in Overdox to work with, and I get a lot of requests and questions about what sets I prefer or what heavy sets are better than others. In a bit, we're going to go down a quick and basic breakdown of the thick boys of Overdox, going over their skills, weight class, special abilities, and even style to see which ones of these suit which purpose and which of them I personally prefer. As always, I say take this with a grain of salt, as the opinion portion of this is solely mine and mine alone. Now enough with the interweb politics, let's get down to it.
Don't pause. Press play.
Thanks again for clicking my video today, and if at any point you find me helpful, funky, or just an all-around good guy, I ask and encourage you to click that like button and smash subscribe for more action RPG and MMO content. Beetle, Vector, Assault, Rex, Ra, Skull, Punisher, Exo, Infantry, and Viper. Okay, joking aside, these are all the thick boy squad in Overdox as we currently know it. But bro, Assault is only normal weight. I know. Calm down, have a Snickers, you're being dramatic. This video is going to cover basically anything not light or very light, because even normal walking sucks on certain maps. We've all faced those speedsters running around with damn near equal HP to us, making us think, what's the point of heavy gear? Further on that, most people run in light gear. It's addicting to have that run speed. I've gone through it too. It made me ignore heavy armor for the longest time. Well, as of patch 1.3.6, Hygiene made weight affect various aspects of your stats, such as dash cooldown, dash distance, etc., to give weight classes, well, more weight. There should be a hefty difference in the extra poundage or lack thereof your character has. Let's look at weight stacks in depth, accessed by holding down the weight sign in your character equipment window. On the left, we'll have the very heavy Raw set with the electric hammer to max the heft out. In the middle, we're going to have normal represented by the Assault Force armor with the electric hammer to counteract the gravity defy that this set has. More on that later. And on the right, we're going to have the Crow set with the Steel Sword representing very light. You can already see this game bases everything off very light, with all stats saying no change. As you move towards the normal weight class, you start to see some moderate changes in your stats, averaging around 12 to 14% decreases in your stamina recovery, dash distance, etc. You're essentially losing what I call cardio, but you make up for it in the ability to take a little bit more of a hit. And by cardio, I mean your overall mobility and your ability to keep up things such as guarding, attacking, anything that revolves around stamina use. Now once you are considered very heavy, the effects are overly apparent with a whooping 30% decrease in speed, stamina regen, and a quarter of your dash distance completely cut off. In turn, you get 1 to 2 seconds off the cooldown cut off too, which is nice because it makes you a little bit more bursty. This is kind of like the difference between a marathon runner and like a track and field runner. They can run in bursts, they can move really quickly, really often. This still makes running around on large maps such as Land of Solitude in heavy armor really painful because you're still running really slow. I don't care how often you can dash. To wrap it up, the 8% flat defense is really nice and makes you really tanky. Now that we have the weight differences out the way, let's take a quick look at each set. Starting with Golden Beetle, you have very low out of combat movement speed, but damn near the best in combat movement speed of all the sets put together. On paper, this sounds like it's great for one-on-ones, being able to sidestep for days. In addition, it benefits from being immune to bleed, one of the nastier statuses in the game for people who like to heal. Weapons like Longsword and Halberd are dangerous, especially because you cannot heal while you fight them unless you have cleanse, and even then it's still rough. Halberd and Longsword are also known for thrusts, which are vulnerable to speedy sidestepping. This goes for one-handed mace as well as certain staff attacks. This set is good for people who are A, patient, and B, terrible against one-handed mace, longsword, halberd, and staff users. Small side note, I do give the girl beetle set points for looking pretty dope, especially in black. The guy one just looks kinda clunky. Up next we have the Vector set, the heal bot that could. With identical weight to the beetle, your run speed is still kinda bad. However, Vector's heal over time effect out of combat is a real selling point. With all three parts put together, you heal at 12 HP a second only after you spend a little time with your weapon sheath. This effect stops once you attack or are attacked. This keeps it from being kinda broken, as players will heal all day long during combat if they could. In addition, the set gives you an additional 18% critical damage, good for adding a little extra spark to your attacks. Overall, Vector is good for a player who likes to go all out during a fight, knowing they can take a lot of damage and use strong healing right after. Kinda berserker-ish in my opinion. The shortened dash cooldowns do fit in this nicely, allowing for a slightly faster paced fight. The healing also makes this a good hit and run set if you run Vector with the TN drone's walk speed and a weapon with decent crit chance. And to be frank, everything for Vector points to weapons with higher than average crit rate, such as the Sky Cannon, the Crimson Bull, the Dark Pulse, and basically all dual blades. Next up, let's look at the 4-star set. Out the gate, these sets feel a tad more durable than lighter gear due to their 40 HP passive, and it makes for a really nice buffer for early and fast fights, especially in anti-farm maps like Death Asylum. In order of rarity, first we have the infantry set, which has a nice amount of stamina from its passives and recently got some nice bonuses to its pose recovery to make it more competitive. Despite the in-game lore calling it a low-end product, it will always have a nice balanced feel to it, however it does need substantial leveling to really shine. The exosuit opted for a more defensive approach with crit resistance. This sounds nice, but in all honesty, unless you build for it, criticals are not an overly huge problem in this game, making crit resistance fairly low priority. Iron Skull is a decent set with good stamina, good HP, but lower pose recovery than its brethren. While increased status recovery is nice, in practice it didn't work well under pressure. Many attacks will continue to reapply a status, nulling out this effect entirely in my opinion. That said, it is one of the flagship armors, often featured in a lot of the game's early art, and definitely wins a stylish point from me. I have a thing for steampunks, and this definitely feels like Steampunk Pirate. Last in line but first in stats for 4 stars, we have Assault Force. This set has more base critical resistance than the exosuit, decent stamina, a passive that increases your weapon damage by what feels like 2 weapon levels, and has built-in anti-grav, reducing its weight and increasing its run speed. This is like having a heavier set with moderate light armor benefits. Good HP, speed, and bonus damage make the assault armor the definite pride of the 4 stars lineup. This set is great all around, but really shines with heavy weapons in my opinion due to the natural weight reduction and attack power boost. To really put this into perspective, because the weight reduction is based on a percentage, the heavier you get, the more of a bonus you get out of this. So if you equip something that's fairly lightweight, well then you're not getting that much weight reduction out of it and should probably use another set. However, if you're using something like the Electric Hammer or the Big Red Mountain, you're going to get a whooping chunk of your weight reduced and thusly get a little bit more run speed out of this. Now it should also be noted that because it's reducing your weight, you're dropping down into another weight class and losing the defense that comes with being heavier. Just noting that. Still with me, guys? Alright, cool. We've gotten far. Congratulations, high fives all around. Don't be afraid to pause a bit, do some calisthenics, get some snacks, get the blood flowing again. We're almost done. Lastly, we have the beast sets, which rock a tasty 5% damage reduction passive with stacks with the natural damage reduction of being a heavy boy class. While not invincible, beast sets can take many hits to the face that will typically crumple most other sets pretty fast. In order of rarity, we have the Great Punisher set. This set is nice early on for those who may like the Glass Cannon playstyle but want a bit more defense. It rocks a 10% crit chance stat boost that makes it a nice fit for the critical weapons we touched on earlier, only this time you'll be more of a brawny brawler. Long term though, I would not use this set as it substantially lacks stacks compared to its higher rarity brethren. The Golden God Ra rocks impressive stamina and crit resist. I want to call this the heavyweight boxer set just due to the combo of being decent stamina, crit resist, defense, and a parry recovery. Like a professional boxer, Ra can roll with the mishaps of being parried and quickly get back into combat pose. I see a lot of one-handers, longswords, and lances get parried due to their readable attack pattern, so this could be a great match with those weapons. I definitely see a lot of raw longsword combos running around. This set also has a great male and female look, just oozing regality from its flowing cape and deliberately large shoulder pads. I personally love the griffin shoulders on this one for the female version. It gives it a bit of a gladiator or ancient military captain vibe. The Rex set rocks a good chunk of critical resist, and unlike the previous armor I mentioned, it rocks the benefit of being a rare type of armor, so it gets a little bit more of a stat boost. That, plus being a thick boy, is getting a good chunk of defense and critical resist, so it makes a good anti-crit rate set, which if you're really paranoid about like the Hakas or dual blades or again, all the aforementioned crit weapons like halberds and longswords, etc., this could be the set for you. Lastly, we have the Viper armor, a personal favorite of mine. Viper is a bit of an oddball like the Assault set. It bends the rules around its weight class. The Viper set gets both 15% more move speed and 10% cooldown reduction on unique skills. Unique skill cooldown is great alone, but 15% move speed on a heavy to very heavy character is insane. It's really nice to have. Throw on the TN drone for even more move speed and suddenly you're the giant boulder from the Indiana Jones movie. I'm not 100% certain of the math, but it's basically nulling out the 30% move speed reduction of very heavy with 15% from your set and 15% from TN. I imagine the Viper set is like the rugby player, built Tonka tough but can sprint with the best of them. Just watch your weapon and guard spam. Viper gasses out super quick and has no stamina. A final side note, this is yet another set which can rock the Griffin shoulders on point. The gold and red just line up really well. And that's it for my little, not so little thick boy armor breakdown. I hope it helps you understand the gear a little bit more and choose which armor sets to level up accordingly. Let me know which one's your favorite and why. I already told you Viper is definitely my A1, but a lot of people seem to like Ra, some people like Rex. That aside, let me know how you feel down in the comments below, and for those of you who don't have everything yet, I definitely urge you to keep up the good fight and soldier on. Customizing your gear is amazing fun and is definitely worth the grind. As always, love, peace, and elevate your hunts, guys. Lates.